Hello, everybody. What's going on? Today is day number 20, day 20 on this new construction project. I was wrong yesterday. I said we were going to get a different kind of concrete machine, but we ended up getting these kind of these old school ones. So that's what we're going to go with. So, one second. All right, everybody, say hi to Judah. Say hi, Judah.
Hi.
All right, so Judah wants to be part of the video and show everybody what's going on here with our construction project. I took a series of videos today, basically just kind of showing a little bit of what the concrete pour day was like. So give me 1 second.
Okay. Hi, everybody. My name is Judah.
Hi, nice to meet you, Judah. Okay, so let me run this video here real quick. We got this thing here, which is a ground pump. Okay, so normally I was explaining to you guys yesterday, what they would do is they would bring the concrete with the boom. And that boom, basically all it is this massive pump that goes overhead and then comes down, and it has the tube where the concrete comes out at. But this way, the way we're doing it here is going to be a ground pump. We had to pay $1,050 for these guys to bring this pump with all these tubes, and what all they do is they connect them together, and they use a mechanical system to kind of just pour the concrete in this way, and it just starts going out, getting pumped to where it needs to go. So let's watch this and see how that turns out. So as you can see, the pump is over there sending the concrete in. You can see the guy out there holding it, and it's just pouring the concrete. These guys are just ensuring that it's going into all the crevices where it needs to go. Okay, so same period of time here. I was taking this video to show you guys, and as you can see, these guys are just working the tubes, working the machine, and just we're getting different carts. So each one of these trucks holds approximately 10 yards of concrete. Okay, 10 cubic yards of concrete. And so we had to order 70. So we're ordering 7 of these trucks. The price that we're paying in today's market in February of 2025, we're paying approximately $135 a yard. That does not include tax. So just we have to put that in there. So it's about $140 a yard per tax. And like I said in the previous portion, is that this truck with the ground pump costs $1,050 to rent for 1 day. Okay, so today we had donuts with Dad, with Judah. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun. We got donuts and we got to hang out. And so, hold on a second. And so basically, I had to take a portion of that day and then go out to my kid's school. And, we were just hanging out, talking and whatnot. And I had to take care of some other errands. But by the time I got back, this the concrete foundation was essentially almost all completely poured. So that's what this looks like here. Let me show you real quick. So this isn't quite done yet. As you can see, these anchor bolts, that's what these little pieces of metal that are sticking up out of the ground. These are the anchor bolts that basically where the plates. So let me stop it here so you guys can take a look at what I'm talking about here. So I'm going to show you a couple of things that are important to point out here. I'm going to move this over. And that's going to be these anchor bolts. So you see here, we have anchor bolts. So the plates where the wall actually comes down, you have a 2x4 here. You have a 2x4 that's just flat right here as well. So those get holes drilled into them so that, and then you put a bolt on top of that, you screw it in so that way that gets anchored down to the house. Here we have our island, so the electrician had to come out on Sunday and ensure that we had electricity to the island. And then, of course, we were talking earlier about the different things that we had in the house. So as you can see right here on the left-hand side, you have the kitchen sink, you have the washing machine, drain, the guest bathroom, and then the master bathroom in the back. So that's what those things are sticking up out of the ground right now. There's Alfredo. He's one of my guys that works out there and helps me out with all this stuff. Okay, so now we have, a lot of the stuff is kind of starting to dry out. And, we have the electrical outlet there, which is important to have. And right now, all that is going to be just a PVC pipe. Nothing too crazy. They'll put the wire in there later. They'll just put something in there to just be able to run the wire through from one end to the other. All right, so I want to show you guys a couple of things here when it comes to the plumbing. It's real simple. It's not nothing too crazy, but something that we've messed up in the past, and that's basically been that the pipe is way too far close to the edge of the 2x4, and then therefore there's no space for the concrete to fill in. So what we did is just kind of push it in a little bit and just make sure that that gets filled in, so that way whenever the property gets done or the concrete completes the curing process, it's completely covered in there. All right, so again, another angle of this project here. And what they're starting to do now is they're going to polish the concrete. I know it looks like a big, massive fan, but remember, the flooring that we use, typically the floor that we use is going to be the glued down laminate. And because it's glued down, we need the concrete to be pretty smooth, all right? We don't want a whole bunch of inconsistencies in the concrete. So as you can see here, they're just basically throwing water so that the water current helps. The skin is not anywhere near dry yet, but all they're doing is just basically adding. Oh, and there's one more thing I wanted to point out that I almost messed up. I was walking around the project, and this is why it's important to walk around your project, is to ensure that things are going. You're just looking around, not talking to people. I'm telling you, showing up at the job site and not talking is such an important part of being in charge of a construction project. Because if you're not talking, you're focusing on what's actually happening out there. If you're talking, you're distracted. So I go out of my way to purposely like just not talk a whole lot. And people make conversation with you all the time, right? But I noticed that we had an extra box and a half of anchor bolts that was completely not used and completely not put in. And guess what we hadn't put in? The firewall is a 2x6 wall, and they had not put the anchor bolts in for the firewall yet. And I'm like, why is there an extra box? I was looking at it like, we order pretty much the same amount that we need. Why would there be an entire extra box of these anchor bolts just hanging around? And I was looking around, just trying to figure it out. Where are we missing anchor bolts? And I was actually looking over here on the edges. I was looking over here. I'm like, okay, we got them there. We got them there. They seem to be spaced about right. I'm like, where are we missing anchor bolts? Why do we get so many? And then it just dawned on me. I'm like, what? The entire firewall, we have not done any anchor bolts for it. So, of course, right away before these guys, before this stuff started getting too crazy, I went ahead and brought it up to them. And they're like, oh, yeah, we missed it. And so, we went ahead and got that done, which is great because now they're going to be into the concrete. And the wall is going to be a 2x6 wall, which means there'll be room for error there. So what I mean room for error is that, the firewall in the middle is a 2x6 wall, so it's wider, right? It's not a 2x4 wall like the ones here on the exterior walls. And so basically, if the bolt is not perfectly right in the middle, we have a good bit of margin for error there in case it's not perfectly right where it needs to be. So one more thing that I think is super important and valuable is, to pass on the information. That's why I'm doing it with you guys, and that's why, I do it with my kids. Maybe they will be in the construction business, maybe they won't be. It's going to be up to them, but at least hopefully some of this stuff is going to wear off on them or rub off on them, I should say. And so I picked them up from school, and then I brought them over to the job site. I was explaining to them the cables because they saw it when the cables were put in. I explained to them basically the concrete and why this guy was over there polishing it and doing all this stuff. So here they are learning a little bit about foundations and all that kind of stuff. My oldest kid, he's actually kind of into it. He likes the whole design, drawing, architect type stuff. He's going to be taking some classes on AutoCAD. You pay the architect person, $1,700, $2,200 a pop to do. So every time we do this exact same plan, all he does is just take the same plan and just put a new address on it. I mean, that's it. And we have to pay the $1,500, $1,700, whatever it costs, because the city of Willis or any jurisdiction is going to want a new set of plans. And this is what I told my kid. I said, look, if you can learn how to do this AutoCAD program, and that's all we're doing is cut and pasting and adding a new address, like, I'd rather just pay you for it. He's like, that'd be cool. Yeah, that'd be cool. Very cool. So anyway, I think it's very important for you guys to bring your kids. I know they're young and whatnot. These are mine, but I encourage the contractors to bring their kids as long as they're not using power tools. They should be fine to kind of learn a little bit about working with their hands, man. There's nothing wrong with that. All right, guys, that's all I got for you today. We got the concrete poured in. The next big piece is ordering the material. All right, so this is no, not done yet. So this is going to be the next big thing, guys. I am essentially now at a point where I need to order the material for the framing. Okay. Now some of the stuff that I tell you we get off of Facebook Marketplace. There's other guys that sell material they have left over, mostly like plywood stuff like that. But some of the stuff that I do like getting from Home Depot is going to be like this sheetrock, this 5/18 sheetrock, because their stuff comes in clean. Sometimes when you buy stuff off of Facebook Marketplace, it's beat up. Like the corners are kind of broken on the plywood or the sheetrock. I'm sorry, and so the guys complain about it because they have to cut off a piece and fix it because it's all damaged on the ends and the corners and stuff like that. So plywood. I'm sorry, sheetrock is a good thing to buy from Home Depot. So we got the delivery address here, 403 MLK. I had to change a couple of things because we're going to do something a little bit different here for the firewall. It's going to be a 4x10, 5/8 inch Fire Code X drywall. These are going to be a lot of the studs that we're going to be using since we have 9-foot walls, 9-foot ceilings inside of the property. We got this 104 5/8, which is a standard stud for a 9-foot ceiling. We're ordering some of this material. So anyways, I'm trying to get ahead of it. I kind of did a few changes here because of some of the stuff that we got. We always have like stuff left over, guys. It's from different job sites. It's not a bunch, but it accumulates over time. And so we just reuse some of that stuff. It's just recycling. So anyways, I just added a few things here just for my order. But I wanted to get this order out to Home Depot so they can go ahead and start including it and getting us ready for delivery for either Wednesday or Thursday. They said they could do it on Wednesday. And so we're going to get the framers out there to start working this process. This is going to be the very first set. The walls, the roof, and the ceiling joist should be up with all this material that we're going to be ordering today. And then we have to start worrying about the windows, the doors, flashing, siding, and all that other stuff next. So that's all I got for you today, guys. Real busy day. Fantastic day. Thanks so much for watching. I'll talk to you soon.